Today we're going to talk about how 5 power words that are going to up your presence not only here on Periscope but also on social media as a whole. Virginia Beach, welcome guys. As you're coming in, just a quick heads up on what we're going to talk about. 5 power words that will up your presence, and whether it's here on Periscope, focusing pretty much here on Periscope, but these words actually are applicable across all of social. For those of you who don't know me, I know we have some new faces on with us today. My name is Kim Garst. I help business owners create more sales using the power of digital and social media. I've been online for 20 plus years and owned an online business for that length of time, multiple 6- and 7-figure businesses over the years. And I am also the creator of one of the very first Periscope for Business courses. So if you are interested in Periscope for your business, you can check it out at scopingforbiz.com. And if you guys are interested in, you're trying to figure it out and you're not quite sure if Periscope is for you, I do have a free ebook. It's a jumpstart guide. You can grab it at perryschool.training. If you're doing a scope, just type hashtag and Halloween in your scope title, and then when people tap on the screen to leave hearts, they can also leave, some of those will be bats. perryschool.training, you can grab a free ebook, guys, around Periscope. Kind of dip your toes in and see if Periscope is good for you. The first word I want to talk to you about as it relates to upping your presence on not only Periscope but also social media as a whole is purpose. It's so funny to me. It's not funny. It's not funny. That's not the right word I'm looking for. But it is stunning. Maybe stunning is a better word. How many people get started on social media or Periscope without a purpose in mind? They get started and they're like, well, I'm not quite sure. They just get started. They don't have that. What is my purpose for even being here, on Periscope, or if it's Facebook or Twitter or whatever it is. And so many times they without that purpose, they just throw stuff at the wall and nothing ultimately sticks. So I want you to start thinking about, why did you start here on Periscope to begin with? Was it to reach a targeted audience? Was it, cheap advertising? That's what a lot of us think about social media, right? Is, oh, well, it's free, therefore, why wouldn't we do it? And, the reality about social media is that it is a free medium. It's one of the it's one of the only free mediums of advertising that we have today. And yet we don't really approach it because it's free. We don't have a value proposition in it. We're like, okay, if it works, it works. And so we don't invest in it, is my point. And when you don't pay for something, you don't tend to invest in it as much as if you pay for something. So my suggestion is that you actually treat social media or Periscope like you actually, you've got something in it. There's some skin in it for you, because there is. And social media or Periscope is free. It absolutely is, but it is not free from a time perspective. So if we're going to spend our time, which is our most valuable resource, on social media, then what do we want from it? What is our purpose for being here? And, every scope that you do, or every tweet that you tweet, or every post on Facebook should have some purpose. And those things you should define those, write them down, figure out what your purpose is. And so many times, whether it's, ways to serve your ideal client, if it's an opportunity to create a sale, is it giving away your freemium, whatever it is, have a purpose, and I think that's true across the board. If you're every scope that I am on, I have a purpose. I define that purpose before I ever press that start broadcast button. So define what your purpose is. What is your goal? What do you want from that particular scope? And then the second word, so the first word is purpose. Second word is innovate. Now, the neat part about being here on Periscope is it is innovative. I mean, a lot of the other social media platforms are pretty crowded, and you know, in certain niches it can be very hard to get started. So for those of us who are scoping right now, we're kind of innovators. You know, we're embracing a new technology that is going to shift, that does shift. It's changing constantly. But I'd like to stretch that out a little bit, that word innovate, to something that's a little bigger than just saying, okay, we're innovators because we're here. Innovate inside of your scopes. Like, I'm going to give you a great example. Carrie Shearer, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Carrie Shearer, but if you're not, you need to know him. He teaches about Periscope, a lot of the tech side of Periscope, you know, what equipment and tools you need to make better scopes, that kind of thing. But he did something I thought was incredibly clever and innovative the other day. He took a topic and, you know, basically brought some entertainment to it. So he took a concept and basically it was about ways to, you know, up your game on, here on Periscope, but it was done in such a clever and fun way. So if you are inside of if you'll go to catch.me, because I'm pretty sure that by now the replay is gone, but I don't remember the scope title, but it was about, basically he took a concept and applied relationship marketing to it. So, and relationships from a love standpoint, which was pretty clever. So that was innovative. I've seen a lot of people doing some cool things with, you know, leveraging the TV, for example, and treating it more of as like a medium for education in a traditional sense. I do that sometimes. Some people are using sound effects, all of those things. But to get back to Carrie real quick, if you didn't watch his scope, then you can go to catch.me/Carrie Shearer and try to find that scope that he did, so that you can kind of get a feel for what I'm talking about. But much of what we do here on Periscope is about entertain, or I call it edutainment. You know, we are absolutely trying to educate from a business standpoint. That's my goal. I want to share my skill set with those and shorten learning curves. But to go back to Carrie's title, I'm not sure what it was exactly, but it was about relationships. So if you looked for one that was like 2 days ago, maybe, that the relationships is in the title, you'll find it quick and easy. But we want to make sure that we are, you know, innovating and being entertaining in some way. So some people are doing things like, I've seen some people doing some cool things with like sound effects. Yeah, I mean, don't just stay in the same rut or the same lane, guys. You know, stretch your boundaries a little bit. Come up with unique and creative ways to showcase your personality, your brand, your business, your products, your services. So that's 2. 1 is purpose. 2 is innovate. 3 is something not many people do, and yet it's such a critical piece of truly delivering good stuff here on Periscope, and that is plan. You know, get and I've got to where I'm doing this forward so that I can not only know what I'm going to talk about, but I can also advertise what I'm going to talk about here on Periscope. So plan in advance. When you plan and you have an editorial calendar, just like you would for your blog content, or even your Facebook post or anything else, then you have a strategy behind it. You can, and specifically one of the core value propositions for knowing in advance is, 1, you know in advance. You don't like to sit down and say, well, what am I going to talk about? Which is what we do a lot on social, right? You sit down in front of Facebook and you're like, oh gosh, I need a Facebook post. What am I going to put out there? And same sometimes with Periscope. You're like, what am I going to talk about? What kind of value can I deliver? But if you plan, then you know, and there's not that stress factor. So don't add stress to your life. Just plan in advance and get ahead of yourself. And the other value proposition, outside of, you know, not having that stress, is that you can advertise, you can let people know, you can drive more traffic to your scopes simply by knowing what you're going to talk about. And if people are attracted to that concept or that topic, it's like anything. It's like a webinar, right? If we advertise in advance, it stands to reason that we're going to get more people. absolutely the same with Periscope. If you plan and you create graphics or you tweet it in advance, then people are going to know that you're going to be on at a certain time, and voila, you get a bigger audience. So that would be my third tip to you. My fourth tip is, and it's a biggie, guys, it doesn't matter if you do all of these other things, guys, if you don't take action. So, all great ideas are worth this much. Zero, if you don't take action on them. So if you do, say, okay, this is my purpose, and let's see what were my others, and I got a great idea, I got an innovative idea, and you plan it out, but you sit on it. You got this little bushel basket over here, and you're just like, I'm just going to hide. I'm just going to put that little bushel basket over my head, and I'm just going to keep all this to myself. Nope. I'm scared, I'm lazy, I'm this, I'm that, whatever. I don't have time. Sorry, you're not going to get any results. So all of the things that you've done so far are totally out the door. So the neat part about going through this process, and the 4 words in it, or the 3 words before we get to action, is that they all involve something really important, guys. You have a message. You have something important to share with someone else. And if you sit on it and you hide it and you don't let that light shine because you're afraid, you're lazy, or you just won't make the time. Sometimes we just don't. Then you are really just doing a disservice not only to yourself, but to people that you could serve, the people that you could help. So if you don't, get out of your own way, in whatever way that is, then you're all those things that you've done prior to are just going to be absolutely worthless to you. So you've got to take action. That's my 4th power word for you. And then the 5th word, so to reiterate, purpose. You got to have a purpose. You have to innovate, absolutely come up with new and unique ways to not only educate, but provide edutainment. You want to be entertaining and relatable to people. You have to plan. If you plan, you're so much better off than if you just sit down and randomly say, what am I going to talk about? I don't know. So plan in advance so that not only you have a plan, but you can also drive more people to your scopes simply because you can let people know what you're going to be scoping about. And then all good things, doesn't matter if you do all of these things if you don't take action on those things. And then my last power word for you is community. And community is probably the most important piece of all of this, in the sense that that's what drives the rest of your business. It's what drives, if you don't focus on building a tribe or a community or an audience, whatever word, buzz phrase you want to use, then you're going to struggle, because you're going to be you against the world. If you build a community of people, of like-minded people who are supporting each other, look at you guys. You guys are awesome. That's the value proposition of Periscope as a whole. One of the things that I'm so attracted to and so addicted to in some ways is you guys. It's the community, it's the support, it's the sharing and the collaboration, and all of the amazing things that I see happening in the feed as I see comments flowing by. That's community, guys. It's not me talking to you. It's not you talking back to me. It's you guys helping each other and pushing each other forward. It's community. That's what it is. It's a tribe of like-minded people who, care about each other, who will lift each other up, who will support one another. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate you guys for spending some time with me today. I know your time is valuable. I just want you to know I honor that. Couldn't do what I do without you. So have a great rest of the day.